You are currently looking at Abiodun Adegoke, perhaps the biggest mystery in recent basketball history. Because as you can see, Abiodun stands at 7'9", making him not only tied for the tallest basketball player to ever live, but also just in general, he is one of the tallest people in the world. And after Shaq himself shared Abiodun onto his Instagram story, the basketball community as a whole went crazy because who was this 7'9" mystery man who could score the ball at will and would be the tallest player in NBA history? Well, the crazy thing is, before we can even answer that question, we have to ask, is Abiodun even a man or is he a teenager? Because reports have differed here. Some say Abiodun is a 14-year-old who could establish himself as one of the top international prospects in the world due to his height alone, while others say Abiodun is in his 20s and is pretending to be a 14-year-old. What? So what's up guys, Mike here, and today we're looking at Abiodun Adegoke, one of basketball's biggest mysteries, and we're going to find out, does he have an NBA future in store for him, or instead is he a grown man pretending to be 14? This is an extremely interesting video to me personally, because if this 7'9" giant is 14, then sure, we could be looking at an NBA star. If he's in his 20s and pretending to be 14, then that's pretty weird. Now before we jump into this video, I do want to say make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video, and also please leave a like. It helps me out a ton with YouTube's algorithm. Now let's get into this, because when it comes to Abiodun Adegoke, for someone who is 7'9", there are some huge questions we need to ask before we even get into the main question, which is of course, is he 14 or in his 20s? The side questions here are, where did he come from? Why did he suddenly just pop up on everyone's basketball radar? And if he is 14, why is he not considered a huge NBA prospect at this point in time? Well, as it stands, Abiodun is part of the MPAC Elite Youth League, a league that describes themselves as a competitive platform for elite players at a global level. And being completely honest here, there's not a ton of footage of Abiodun in games, but that is part of the mystery here. Because sure, Abiodun suffers from the same problems that a lot of giant people suffer from. He's slow, he can't really jump, I get it, but he's also 7'9", so you would think some American scout would want to take a chance and develop him, either at the college level or in the G League, or maybe with his height he could even be placed at the end of an NBA bench. Now if Abiodun were to play professional basketball, he would immediately tie the record for the tallest basketball player of all time with Sun Ming, who also stands at 7'9", and personally I don't think playing professional basketball in general is a stretch here. When it comes to the NBA, that might be a different story. However, if Abiodun's body does hold up, which of course is a huge question, but if it does hold up, well then having a player who can block shots and dunk the basketball without even jumping would certainly be an advantage for some teams, at least in certain situations. With that said, the NBA has shown exactly zero interest in Abiodun. He is not listed as a prospect anywhere I looked, and is the reason for that his height? I say this because the tallest basketball player ever, Korzemba, and guys, I've got to say I am very sorry for the pronunciations of these names. I'm horrible with pronunciations, please bear with me. However, Korzemba was 7'7", and he was really only able to play in 4 full seasons before injuries did get the best of him. The same thing happened with Yao Ming. Yao was an absolute star at the NBA level. He was an all-star, he was an all-NBA type player, but then injuries got the best of him because of his height. So we can definitely consider Abiodun an injury risk going forward. I really hope that throughout his basketball career he is able to stay healthy, but with that in mind, I do have to say that there is a lot of risk when you are this tall. So maybe that is why the NBA is not interested. Maybe he's just too tall, and maybe the NBA doesn't want to deal with the injury concerns there, the lack of speed, the lack of athleticism. I mean, in basketball, height is usually an advantage unless you are 7'9" and pretty much immobile. However, we have seen tall players like this in the past reach the NBA level, or at least play in college or in other professional leagues. So maybe the problem is not Abiodun's height, maybe it is his age. Because how old is he? When researching this video, I will tell you guys, a ton of articles did come out about about Abiodun, but they are all basically saying the same thing, that the youth camp that is featured in all of these videos, that was basically his coming out party, and until this camp, Abiodun was not on anyone's radar somehow. I emphasize the word somehow because he is 7'9". How could you possibly hide someone this tall? So to me, the fact that he basically came out of nowhere does give credit to the age theory, that Abiodun is not the age that he is stating he is. But before we fully get into that, let's talk about the footage that drove everyone crazy. Let's talk about when the world discovered Abiodun after Shaq posted an Instagram video of him working out for MPAX basketball during a youth development camp in Dubai. Now, this was very interesting, and this is the reason why a lot of people thought that Abiodun was 14 years old, because after doing some research, you will find that the MPAC Youth Basketball League only allows players that are 14 years old or younger, which is why when Abiodun was discovered, many just immediately assumed that he was 14. Suddenly, that became a headline everywhere. Abiodun was seen as a 14-year-old basketball sensation. However, in my head, this is a crazy assumption to make, especially considering that Abiodun looks nothing like a 14-year-old. And after actually doing some digging, it turns out that the elite youth team, the team that Abiodun actually plays for, is made up of 18-year-olds, and that has been the age that Abiodun has claimed. 18, not 14. But here's the thing, even that age might be a lie, because back in 2016, 5 years ago, Abiodun was referred to in a newspaper as 17 years old, which would now make him 22. A drastic difference in the world of basketball prospects. And the thing is, we've seen this before. Some have called into question the ages of international prospects such as Thon Maker and Serge Ibaka, and while nothing has been proven there, Abiodun's unknown age could be a major reason why he is not at least playing at the G League level or for some pro team. Because if scouts see a 7'9", 18-year-old, they can potentially talk themselves into developing him, but a 22-year-old, that is a huge difference. And unfortunately, when looking for proof of Abiodun's age, all we really have to go off of in terms of proof that he is 18 is Abiodun's word himself. He has actually joked about being older to other people because a lot of people think he is, and so let's figure this out. Why do people think that? Well, I know Wikipedia is not the best place for information. Trust me, I know this. That's not really where I got this information from. I do want to reference, though, this line from Abiodun's Wikipedia article. Adegoke's age is of controversy as a news report reported his age as 17 and 2.18 meters tall in the year 2016. Now, for all of my American people out there, including myself, I just Googled this. 2.18 meters is 7.15 feet, which means that if this report is true, Abiodun grew about 7.5 inches after the age of 17. That is insane. We'll come back to it. From here, though, I do want to continue digging into Abiodun's age, and this is where things go from crazy to an actual conspiracy. Now, I did not set out to make a conspiracy video, but here we go, because in front of us we have an article from The Guardian from a man by the name of Segun Odegbami. Saquon tells a very interesting story and has a lot of credibility because he is not only a former Nigerian professional soccer player, but also the school that Abiodun potentially attended has Segun's name on it. Yes, Segun states, some years ago, a gentleman in Ibadan contacted me about a young boy who needed the support of sport to save his life. The man told me the boy was about 16 or 17 at the time and that he was divinely physically made for the game of basketball because he was over 7 foot tall. Segun would go on to talk about how Abiodun could not even attend school before this due to the bullying he would get because he was so tall, and I'm sure you've noticed Abiodun's bad posture. Well, Segun stated that he became physically bent over as a result of crouching indoors to prevent his head from being chopped off by the blades of the ceiling fan in their rented, modest room and parlor accommodation that he shared with his siblings and very worried parents. That in itself is a crazy story, and from there, Segun claims that he got Abiodun a full scholarship to Segun Odegbami International College and Sport Academy, or SOCA, a much easier name to say, and that college coaches were being contacted to recruit Abiodun. However, Abiodun dropped out of school during the Easter break of his final year of schooling at SOCA. Segun states that he was a bright student. He would have passed both his exams in flying colors. He was a sure bet for a scholarship into an American college. And then finally, we have this from that article. Age is on his side now. At 21 or 22 now, he still has a whole lifetime ahead to impact the world of basketball and the NBA, the biggest basketball league in the world. As if all of this wasn't enough, a picture was posted posted along with this article that had Abiadun standing with all of his Soka teammates. So is it possible? Did Abiadun purposely not graduate from his school so that he could pull a move just like this and pop up later claiming to be a much younger player than he was in order to take some time on the basketball court and help his chances of becoming a professional basketball player? Well, that's the thing about this crazy story. It ends right here for now. Is this picture of Abiadun with his Soka teammates pretty hard evidence? Maybe. To be fair, the other kids in this picture do look like they're on the younger side. However, when it comes to Abiadun's story, we only have his word. So what do you guys think? Is Abiadun going to be a great basketball prospect, or is he some guy in his 20s that is lying to the entire world? Make sure you comment down below what you think. This is a crazy story. And again, remember, please subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. Please make sure to leave a like as well. It helps me out so much with YouTube's algorithm. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, guys, and cue that music. If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it. And other than that, have a great day and peace.